Hello, I'm Denise Botcher from AARP Louisiana, and welcome to our town hall on the crisis impacting our pocketbooks, electric bills. If you're like me, you were shocked when you opened your energy bill last month. I have questions, and I know you do too. So, with us today to talk about why our bills are so high and what we can do about it is Public Service Commission Chairman Dr. Craig Greene. Thank you, Commissioner Greene, for joining us today.
Hey, I appreciate the opportunity to join y'all. Thanks for having me.
AARP is a nonprofit, nonpartisan member organization and has been working to promote the health and financial well-being of older Americans for more than 60 years. While we're celebrating our recent legislative win on the Hill that allows Medicare to negotiate drug prices to save you money, we're still working right here at home to bring you information about several issues impacting your finances. We're going to share a lot of information today, so get out something to take notes. You don't want to miss a beat with that. So, electricity usage has hit record levels as we fight to keep our homes cool this summer, and even natural gas prices are up too. I saved the front page of The Advocate when it came out, the headline, "This is the most I've ever paid in my life." And I know that many of you watching have experienced that. Commissioner Greene, I know this has impacted our energy bills, but why were they extraordinarily high last month? I mean, some even almost doubling. Can you tell us what's going on?
Yeah, so let's talk about how we got here, what we can do now to help, and moreover, do we have a plan to change things so that we don't keep repeating the mistakes of the past? And so we're here where we are now. If you think about it, Louisiana, we've been through it. In the last 6 years, we've had the flood of a century, the freeze of a century, and 6 named hurricanes. If you go all the way back to Katrina, Katrina wiped out New Orleans, Laura wiped out Lake Charles, and Ida wiped out everything in between. So the entire southern coast has been wiped out. In the tranche of storms that we've most recently dealt with, the bill that has to be paid is $4.5 billion. Now, I, and along with Helena Moreno, sent a letter to the President Biden saying, if we're going to send money to Ukraine and if you're going to print $6 trillion, can Louisiana have 4? I mean, we need to offset the cost of these storms. Well, didn't really get a response. And the way it's set up is Entergy, boy, they do all the work, all of them, but they have to be reimbursed. And we do that through a bond mechanism, which is the cheapest way possible. It's still, though, it falls on the ratepayers to have to pay Entergy back for the hurricane restoration. So had there been no hurricanes, the bills wouldn't be higher. That they are, that burden currently falls on us because of the past policies of the Public Service Commission. And what I'm trying to explore for the future is, are there different risk models where large companies who are basically making money in Louisiana, that they also have some skin in the game to take risk for when these force majeure events occur. The second reason why we are where we are is because the price of natural gas. Back when it was under $2, we were having great electricity prices, especially across the nation. And now they're 4 times higher. That has an exponential effect on our bills. And so I would plead with President Biden for more pipelines and drilling. And so those are 2 factors. Now, we can't change all of those factors. I have a docket open at the Public Service Commission, which is to study what does the next 30, 40 years for Louisiana look like? And are there better ways of doing it than we're doing it now? And the name of that docket is called Customer-Centered Options. So there's some things in place, some vehicles in place to affect change, that's for sure. And those aren't immediate, but we're trying to not repeat the same mistakes that we made in the past.
Absolutely. Yeah, we always have to be looking ahead and planning for the future. So when it comes to our bills, like the actual bill that you receive from the energy company, what should we be looking at to kind of get a handle on our usage?
So probably the things that you're not going to be able to change is the storm restoration charge. That's
Okay.
going to be on everybody's, and it is based on usage. So they might tell you it's $15, but it's $15 per 1,000 kilowatts. And so if you use 4,000 kilowatts. Well, it's going to be more than $15. It's going to be that times 4. So just be careful with not expecting to see just a number. It's a number tied as a coefficient tied to usage. The other thing I would mainly look at is what is your consumption of energy?
Okay.
And what we're trying to do, especially with digital meters, is empower each person through your smartphone to know how much you're using. There's a lot of tips out there. I mean, there's tips for no cost, like use your ceiling fans, turn off the lights when you're not using them, raise the thermostats a degree or two, wash and dry large loads of clothes less frequently or in the evenings, and block heat from the house by closing shutters and curtains. There's low cost things like change your air filter, energy efficient lighting, weatherization, smart thermostats, things like Nest or something. You can program them to where they're a certain part during the day and a certain part at night. And then there's higher costs, energy efficient appliances and energy efficient windows. And I think with the new bill that's passed, there's going to be a lot of things that customers can do. You're going to have to pay for it up front, but there'll be tax incentives in order to create more energy efficient homes. But mainly looking at your usage. Now, also, we're going to hope for a cool fall. I hope that summer doesn't go to November like it can in Louisiana.
Right.
And so those are the things. Now, those aren't something the Public Service Commission can say, hey, we're going to cut your bill in half.
Right.
But between you, there's some things you can do. There's some things Entergy or your provider can do. And there's some things we can do, but the things we can do are going to be more long term.
So yeah, it makes me think of our population. 55% of Social Security recipients in Louisiana rely on Social Security for 50% or more of their income. So retired older adults cannot readily jump back into the workforce to earn money to pay for groceries or energy bills. So I know that the PSC has really been hard at work with providers to think differently. And so I understand that Entergy has launched a new program. In fact, I think it starts tomorrow. Can you kind of give us a briefing on that?
Yeah, so I hate when people say this, but this is the only resource I can give. Entergy-louisiana.com/bill/help. And my staff can provide this to you if you can push it out to all your members.
Yep.
Now, as you can imagine, it's not going to be just enter some name and they send you $150. You have to provide a few documents to make it legitimate. But I would encourage people to do that. I would also encourage people to do levelized billing. I did that a few years ago, and I pretty much pay the same every month. And if it goes up, it's not a double. Now I might pay more in months where I would have otherwise paid less, but then I'm also going to pay less in other months where I would have otherwise paid more. So I think it's good for people that need more predictability in their budgeting.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the Low Income Housing Energy Assistance Program. And again, Denise, my staff can provide all of these to you, and you can possibly send them out as links to your members. I think that would be helpful. And then there's the Power to Care. The Catholic churches are offering some assistance with getting bills paid. DEMCO, if you're in DEMCO, they have a foundation. And there's also a weatherization assistance program. And so we can send you all of these and links that you can push out. Bottom line, too, is if you reach out to your carrier, if you pay $20, pay something, and look, I'm going to do a payment plan, whatever, they're not going to cut you off. And if they do, call our office because we can help. But it's the people that pay nothing and don't call, and then we don't know what's going on, or they don't know what's going on. So if we have certain moratoriums occasionally in place, if the temperature's over 100 degrees, no cutoffs and stuff like that.
Right.
But in general, and it's the same thing I tell people with their own health care, take control of your own health, take control of your own energy. And that's ultimately what I'm trying to do, is give the power back to the person long term. But now I want people to take control of that. If you can't afford that bill that month, call the energy company and say, hey, what if I paid you what I've been paying you? And then we can make the rest up over time. I think most companies should, and if they're not, I need to know about it, be working with customers who are willing to pay, even if it's only what they can pay for now.
That's so important. So two things I'm learning from you this morning is the levelized billing, and I'm assuming you can call your provider or do it online to institute that.
I think I clicked something on an app. I mean, I logged on the app and chose one of that as an option.
Great. And then the second thing is, if you can't afford your bill, so let's say you get a $500 bill when you've historically paid $200, you should pay something toward that bill, so that they're more likely to work with you to on the remaining bill.
Yeah, they should. I mean, say, look, but if all you do is pay the $200 and you don't contact them, then they may start threatening you with things. But if you contact them and say, hey, look, this is all I can pay, the rest, can I spread it over the next 6 months or something? I'm asking the companies to work with customers who are willing to pay. Now, if you're straight up unwilling to pay, then I don't know what you expect to get for free in life. So it doesn't work anywhere else either. So
right, you've got to pay something. I do. So you talked about Entergy's program, and I pulled some information today from one of the news stations. Customers can apply through their local United Way. So as you said, there's going to be some criteria for eligibility that folks will need to kind of prove with documentation. So I encourage everyone who's listening right now to, on the Entergy website, even on local news stations' websites, they will have printed up exactly what you need to have prepared to take with you as you apply for the program. But that program opens up tomorrow morning, Wednesday, August 17th at 9 a.m., and it's a first come, first serve program. So you want to think about today getting all of that information ready to go if you are wanting to apply for that program. You also mentioned, Commissioner Greene, about LAHEAP. Now, I know that's the Low Income Energy Assistance Program. And is that how folks, if they can't go online, is there somewhere they can call or visit? Show up in person?
Yeah, so the Low Income Home Energy Assistance Program, if you're a proactive consumer, you can call your own parish community action agency. Some people may not even know that exists, but we have a provider directory of each parish agency that we can provide to consumers that call our office. And so what my staff will do, we might just provide that list to AARP, and
Great.
That way, depending on we'll just cut one less person in the chain. But once we get y'all that list, then call AARP and ask for what's the number for your specific parish community assistance program. And the bottom line here is, whether it's the LAHEAP, the Entergy, you're going to probably also have to use United Way or AARP to help with what is the process for me to get help, right? Because it's not going to just show up in the mail.
Right.
You're going to have to put forth a little bit of effort to demonstrate that you're actually in need.
Right. And that's certainly not unfamiliar with most programs, right, that you have to apply for. You have to demonstrate the need, certainly. As we, wrap up our time together, Commissioner Greene, we are in what's historically been the height of hurricane season. And a few weeks ago, Entergy released its expectations of power outages and restorations following various categories of hurricanes. Can you tell us a little bit about what the PSC is doing to prepare for hurricane season, or this height of hurricane season?
So we ask every company, whether that's a co-op or an investor-owned utility, they have to have a hurricane preparedness plan, as well as resiliency planning. And so that happens every year. Now, what we have to then take deeper dives into is, with the money that we allowed you to spend on infrastructure and resiliency, because we're not an enforcement agency. We don't have, PSC cop cars running around giving tickets to companies that didn't do it. So it's a laborious task then to grade their homework, right? But
Sure.
that's also why we're here, and that just takes time. And so we rely a lot on what they report to us, but then we have to check their homework. You understand?
Hmm.
So the ideal scenario, let's say we had all the money in the world, well, we'd build small stackable nuclear and underground microgrids, and it would be cheap, carbon free, and no hurricanes could really bother it, maybe. But that'd be 100 times more expensive than what we're doing right now. So we're trying to get from, okay, everything's working, we just got it back on as quickly as possible after one of the world's worst hurricanes, to how do we make our system more resilient such that that doesn't happen as often, even if we have bad storms. And so those are two different questions to answer and study. And we have a team of engineers studying in different parts of southern Louisiana which would be the best, in maybe different types of poles or underground. How do we become more resilient? Ultimately, what I want people to know is that we have three goals that this answers every. This is how we approach every problem that we're trying to solve. Number one is reliability. How can we, because we don't want blackouts, brownouts, even how can we be stay on in bad weather? And the second is affordability. So how can we maximize our reliability in the most affordable way possible? Because we are the poorest state in the union. And so that might mean that we have to find the marginal utility of those two, because we may not be able to get the maximum reliability if it's going to cost us beyond what we're capable of paying as a society. And the third, which I think we should be aware of, is sustainability. I think the renewables are coming and they're here. They're not quite as affordable as, say, natural gas, but now natural gas is more expensive. And then there's a reliability issue about the sun. When the sun's not shining, it's not making electricity. So, but I think we're on the verge of some very exciting energy opportunities and options that we've not seen before. And I think that Moore's law is going to progress those more quickly than they have in the past. And so someone asked the question, will energy prices go down? I'm optimistic, but I can't guarantee it. I think between a mixture of energy efficiency, adding some form of customer-centered options where companies that are providing it have to try to gain customers, that'll help keep prices lower. And with the battery technology, I think is coming strong. I think there's a lot with hydrogen that's on its way. So I'm optimistic, although there's not many things in life that get cheaper the more inflation climbs. So I'm optimistic, but can't guarantee.
Well, thank you so much, Commissioner Greene, just for taking out the time today. I want to say when we reached out to you, you all were so eager to provide this information to our consumers to help older adults. So we appreciate it so very much. I know you run a full-time medical practice as well. So thank you on behalf of AARP
Really,
Louisiana.
it's a huge privilege, and Lord willing, I'll be in AARP one day. Um, so I got to help make it a good spot for everybody. But my staff will
Well, happy
send
to have
along.
you.
Well, I'll be glad to be back. Thank y'all very much.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Take care.